that India had a great heritage of learning and Gurukula system. It's truly heartening to know, but it's quite saddening to know. So, where are we now, and why did this rich heritage start depreciate over a period of time? What could be the causes for this decline?
Well, India has been subject to invasions for more than 1,000 years, and we must remember that when Alexander came here, maybe 350 BCE or thereabouts, he found a very rich civilization, and he could not conquer India, though he set out to conquer the whole of the world, but went back from the Indian border, right? And after that, we had the Islamic invasion. The Islamic invasion, whereby people who were from a desert civilization, who had to kill each other and fight each other for survival. They are not known to have created any great universities, though we did see one come up in Cairo much later, right? And they were invaders, they came here. Whenever you are invaded as a country, what do? You come and destroy your universities. India had 13 great universities at that point of time, right from Nalanda, Taxila, and Vikramashila, etc. And then you kill all the great scholars because you want to destroy what exists, and you make sure that the intellectual activity comes down, the books are destroyed, the knowledge is destroyed, so that you can rule over a country. That's how you conquer people all around the world, and that has been the tradition. And that's why we were under this incredible onslaught from the Central Asian countries and other Islamic countries, but we survived with the civilization. And then we had the British come here and try to implant their own educational system. They first supported the Sanskrit schools, and then they destroyed it because of the influence of the evangelicals from Great Britain. And they tried to supplement their own education system to Macaulay's Minutes, which spoke about creating a nation of clerks to serve the white masters. So even though we had a rich tradition, much of the tradition has been destroyed, much of the scholarship has been destroyed, and we have been impoverished as a poor country. You must remember that India was the richest country in the world at one point of time, and till maybe 1750 or thereabouts, India, China made up 45% of world GDP. And as a rich country, we obviously led in the creation of knowledge. But we know that the British colonial exploitation took away about $45 trillion of wealth in today's money. Usha Patnaik of Columbia University had done a thesis on this and calculated what exactly happened. So after freedom in 1947, we're celebrating the 75th year today, this year, we regained our ability to chart our own course in the future. But sadly, we came under the influence of the Marxists. We closed this country to outside influencers, didn't invest adequately in higher education and education. When Mao took over China in 1949, he made a great statement that women hold up half of heaven, and he educated China's women. So when China opened up in 1978, China blossomed because women were educated. Pandit Nehru didn't focus on women's education in this country, and till the 90s, literacy was quite low in this country. Any country after freedom must focus on two important things: literacy and primary education, and then secondary and higher education, and then primary health. And both these were casualties in the first 30 years of the Congress rule. And this is history. For example, in 1950, when we got our constitution, we were the richest country in Asia. China was destroyed by the war. Japan was destroyed by the war. Southeast Asia was destroyed by the war. But because we suppressed private capital, we suppressed the people of this country and did not give their economic freedom due to the license quota large and centralization economic power in Delhi, we only grew at 3.5% a year from 1950 to 1980. Because economic growth is a prerequisite for any country to come up. And India has been a free trade economy throughout our civilization, and that's why we were a rich country and the world came here to exploit and loot us, right? And the population grew at 2.5% in the 30 years. Per capita income grew at 1% a year. The world grew at 4.5%. Asia grew around 6.5%. By 1980, we had become among the poorest countries in the world, and everybody looked down upon us. We opened up in 1980. We grew at 5.5% till 91, and population grew at 2.25%. And our debt grew from $20 billion to $80 billion. And we had a forex crisis in 91, which opened up the economy. Narasimha Rao and Manmohan Singh opened up the economy, gave us back our economic freedom. And then it has been India in an upswing. We went from a GDP of $275 billion in 1991 to $3.16 trillion in March 2022, growing at 8.2% a year for 31 years. Not many countries in the world have grown at 8.2% a year in dollar terms for 31 years. So we have grown very well. We have invested in education, and we'll do better in future. But you must understand that there are only two countries with a billion plus population, China and India. You can't compare any other country with India and China because nobody has this kind of a huge population, this kind of a legacy of poverty and impoverishment. In 1947, when we got our freedom, the trauma of partition and what we set out to do. Yes, we made certain mistakes. We suppressed our own people. We did not allow entrepreneurship to flourish, and we paid a heavy price. But now I think we have passed all that, and we will see the rise of a great country, and India reclaiming our great civilizational past in the next 25 years.